Hello there, beautiful, and welcome back to The Dark Alchemist. In today's Pick a Card reading, I am going to channel the animal guide of the snake for you, and we will deliver a message about unlocking your full potential. We are going to look at your highest timeline and what it looks like, and we're also going to look at an action that you can take today to unlock that full potential of yours. This reading is part of the monthly resources for my spiritual digital planner, where I channeled 12 animal spirits for 12 months of self-healing. If you're curious about that, you can find it popping up there somewhere as a video. And I'm just going to say a couple of things about the snake spirit before we hop into the reading. One huge area of work that the snake spirit really excels in are the topics of transformation, shedding the skin and becoming a brand new version of yourself, as well as being a guardian of potential. And with those two power qualities, we are going into this reading because those are the two power qualities of the snake spirit that we are tapping into today in correlation to your energy. So we're going to see what the snake has to say about you. We got 3 piles here, and if you give me one moment, I got the crystals right here. So we're going to look at the 3 piles. For pile number 1, we have the card of rotation. For pile number 2, we have the card of calcification. And for pile number 3, we have the card of white salt. The crystal for pile number 1 is this piece of moonstone. Crystal for pile number 2 is this piece of amethyst. For pile number 3, we have this piece of rainbow fluorite. Now I am going to zoom in for you in a moment and give you about a minute of meditation with music. So take a couple of deep breaths and then see which pile you feel most drawn to. And you can find, as usual, the timestamps down below, and I'll see you in your selected piles. If you felt drawn to the rotation card and or the moonstone crystal, welcome to your reading, my lovely pile number ones. And straight away, I heard the first clue for you. And I heard the word weaver. So those of you in this pile, you are the weavers. And what's really interesting, I'm going to speak very briefly about this card and then we're going to pull some more, is that this card, I mean, yes, we see that there is a spider there and she is in the process of weaving. But this card also speaks about cycles. It's the card of the wheel. It speaks about how we are creating things by doing them over and over and over again. It speaks about the cumulative effort that we need to put into creating something and that things build upon each other, even though it looks like we are in the same cycle. At the present time, I cannot fully tell you how this ties into your reading, but I'm sure we will circle back to that at a later point. But there's something here about the cyclical nature, being weavers, and actually the second message that I'm getting is that you've been trying to create what you can create in your highest timeline, and in this lifetime you've tried it before. You've tried it before, and at the same time there have been many lifetimes spent by you preparing yourself for this one. It's the cyclical nature. You've been working at this for multiple lifetimes so that now you can tie it together and fully weave. Like weave the whole web. Okay. I'm gonna pop this crystal up here for you. And right away, I feel drawn to this card. I have one more thing to say to you actually before we pull another card. Something's up with your throat chakra. Let's see if maybe a later throat chakra card pops out or something like this, but something is up with your throat chakra. So, because mine has been very irritated, and when I checked in, I heard the message that this is not about me, this is about you. So it feels irritated, it feels kind of a little itchy, scratchy. I had to cough multiple times when I shuffled your cards and when I pulled messages for you. Because like I pre-shuffled all of the decks, even though I'm pulling them on camera now, okay? And yeah, so that's something that I felt very, very strongly, and I can even feel it now. So, and I mean, the throat chakra is connected to topics of self-expression, communication. Let's see. All right, so my lovely snake spirit, what message do you have for my lovely pile number ones about their highest timeline? Can you give us some clue about what this is? Okay. All right. So at the bottom of the deck, we have Star Brothers with Horus energy, protection, loyalty, safety, and trust. And then, I mean, these two popped out. Whoa. Okay, I'm already glad I'm pulling these on camera today, hey. We got the card of Star Ancestors, Hidden Secrets, Lost Wisdom, Look a Little Deeper. And we have the card of Double Mission, Light Worker, Star Seed, Serve the World by Being You. What did I just say about the throat chakra and the self-expression? Oh, could this be any more on point already? And we're like 3 cards in. I'm gonna place the other one to the side for now. Okay, actually, no, they tell me to pull this. All right. I need to have this in here, down here as well. Oh, it's irritated. I just coughed up so much. I cut it out for you because you don't need to hear that, but like, Holy moly. I'm like, in general, I'm not someone who coughs a lot. Like, even when I have a cold, it's not something that that happens a lot to me. I need to go for a second round, sorry. Okay. Whew. Wow. All right. So it felt like I was trying to cough something up. And at the same time, it kind of felt like choking. Let me bring that into more tangible terms for you, how this relates to your message. You have been in an environment or in environments all throughout your life where you felt like you couldn't fully express yourself, you couldn't fully be yourself, and you always had to hold the most authentic part of yourself. You always had to hold it back, and you've been holding it back a lot. And this feeling of always holding it back created a barrier in your throat chakra when it comes to the self-expression. It also created a limiting self-belief of I can't be myself, or if I am myself, I am too much for everyone else. And over time, this way of being and existing in the world has created a feeling of choking. Let me try to explain that a little bit better. You not allowing yourself to fully express yourself and be authentic as you are in this world is slowly starting to suffocate you. We're talking about experiencing feelings of depression. We're talking about feelings of anxiety. We're talking about experiencing a feeling of dread about the life that you're currently living. We're talking about a feeling of dread, like being filled with dread. And of course, for every single one of these emotions, there can be other sources as well, right? So I'm not saying that's the only reason why you are experiencing that, but I will say that you not fully allowing yourself to be who you are is attached to that. So it's one cause for feeling this way. Feeling like you are suffocated in your life comes from you denying this very, very strong and clear starseed energy, or starseed energy and the awareness of having lived multiple lifetimes, and feeling of isolation in the surroundings that you're currently in. The reason you feel that so very strongly right now, by the way, is because you are called out into the open. You're called out in the open. You're called into service right now. And it is your call to the highest timeline that you can feel. The discrepancy between your highest timeline and who you are in your highest timeline and where you are right now, that is the very thing that is causing the pain. And let me be very clear here. This pain is amplified because you are not at the present time taking a lot of tangible action towards moving closer to the highest timeline. There is excuse me for my voice, but that's just how it's going to be throughout your reading, okay? And we're going to roll with it, like I'm still going to deliver the message. You have not been taking that many tangible actions towards your highest timeline, and that like feeling of being stuck, this like stuckness in terms of your energy is the thing that is causing all of these disruptions. Now, with regards to your highest timeline is a place or a life where you are fully shining your energy outward. You are fully expressing yourself. You are expressing your ideas. You're expressing your beliefs. You are weaving the wisdom that you carry from your past, from your star ancestry, from the past lifetimes that you have, etc. You are weaving all of these into the energy grid on Earth by doing a particular kind of job, by taking care of your body in a particular way, by interacting with the people surrounding you in a particular way. There is, I'm going to say, an upgraded version of existing in life, a new way of existing in life and moving with life that you are embodying in this heist timeline. We will go a bit deeper into that, but most importantly for you to know is in that timeline, you are not alone. In that timeline, you are connected with other like-minded souls and souls from the same place, as well as souls that have had similar experiences to you, and there is a community forming surrounding that. So this feeling of isolation is actually going to subside when you start to open yourself up a bit more, because what you're doing when you're opening yourself up a bit more is you're sending out the signal of who you are, the true authentic signal of who you are, and others surrounding you or others that could be at somehow in your vicinity, be that in physical form or stumbling on you or like connecting with you online through whatever means, you know. They pick up on that energy, they feel drawn to that, and that's how these connections get built and formed. So allowing allowing yourself, wow, you have a lot of fear surrounding that. Allowing yourself to be seen is going to be the biggest hurdle for you to take. So the fear of being seen is like at the center of this it's not a block in your throat chakra. I had a good word earlier that I already forgot. I know you're screaming at me right now. Not screaming, but you probably remember the word. The way that I see it, I'm going to just describe it. The way that I see it is we have, when the chakra is like open and you're expressing yourself fully, everything is healthy and balanced. It's kind of like I see it as water flowing. And when there is a limiting belief or limiting self-belief like you have, to me, it looks like there is a dam built there, you know, and like some water trickles through, but not the full force. So that's why I don't really like to use the word blockage, because it sounds so harsh and so permanent. Whereas like a dam, you know, it's an impermanent thing. It's something that can be removed. It's something that we can work around with. And at the same time, you know, like energy is always flowing, just to a lesser degree, you know, it's never fully shut off. Okay, with like the Star Brothers, their protection, loyalty, safety, and trust, I felt called to pull that as a message from your star team. You have in your spirit guides, in your spirit team, you have a lot of extraterrestrials and beings from other places. You have personal connection to quite a few of them from other lifetimes as well, that you lived in the same place. And you coming down here on Earth and fulfilling the mission that you have. I mean, the double mission, we're going to go into that in a moment. Don't worry about it. You fulfilling that mission. They're here to help you, to guide you, and to bring this wisdom down. You know, this like lost wisdom. You're weaving, I said that before, you're weaving this ancient wisdom back into Earth. Back into Earth consciousness, back into human consciousness. And you are safe, you are protected. That's like the biggest message that they want to give you, is this fear that you are experiencing surrounding the topic of expressing yourself. It's a mind-made construct. I'm not going to say that and pretend that everyone is going to be super happy with you sharing what you could share. That's not the case. But you are protected and you are safe in doing that. And you need to trust your team a bit more. You need to trust them a bit more. Because the thing is, when we have a particular mission calling us, particularly one that is a bit bigger and requires this huge bravery and courage of stepping out and openly sharing about all of these things that are rattling around in our minds and all of the experiences that we've had. It requires a lot of trust. And at the same time, we are only ever called into the service of openly sharing when we have a very strong team backing us up and protecting us. We are never called into our missions when they are doomed to fail. You know what I mean? Like, that's not what it is. It's like you have the potential to create this new community surrounding yourself and sharing. Because that kind of work that I spoke of, like channeling this wisdom into your work and channeling this wisdom down to back into human consciousness, earth consciousness, this is not a solitary effort. This is the effort of many. And I feel like you will build a collective on earth. Some kind of work-related collective on earth of like-minded individuals, and you will create something together. So let me see if I can, my throat feels a bit better already. Let me see if I can pull some more cards. Let me get something about the mission. I would like to grab some cards about the mission. Yeah. Would you place this on top for now? Which deck would you like me to use? Okay. So, my lovely snake spirit, what can you tell us about Pile 1's double mission? What can you tell us about the double mission? Okay. Wow, okay. What can you tell us about the mission? Okay, and what do we have underneath the deck? The divine matrix, interconnectedness, synchronicity, God incidences. I mean, interconnectedness. Okay. I'm going to, just as a reminder, put this down here for me now. You can just look at the image. And then we have this one falling out, which is Shambhala initiations. Retreating to recharge, trusting in the process, Dharma. Life path. I'm being drawn to this spiritual city here. To this city that's there. I believe the spiritual community that you, remember I said there's a collective that you will gather surrounding you to create a mission, to create, I said a mission that just popped out, to create a mission. Okay, I'm going to move on and then we will circle back to that, okay? Because that needs to settle a bit in my mind. We have I am presence, light body activation, accessing the divine within. And we have memories of Atlantis, spiritual acceleration, progress, technology. Okay, now we are talking. And then let me place this here so you can see it as well. Okay. I need to show you these two cards before we do anything else. And I need to show them to you like this and switch it up. You see, there is a doorway we walk through. What do we have? A city made of light. What do we have here? The city made of light, but we see it closer now, close up. And you see how the energy is radiating out from this city. In terms of past lives, you do have connections to Atlantis. Many of you were present during Atlantis in various stages of evolution of the project Atlantis. And part of you parts of your karma. I say parts because that is not true for every single one of you. But for some of you, since this is a collective reading still, some of you still have some unfinished business, some unfinished karma from the time of Atlantis. Let me phrase it like this. You were the ones who were in Atlantis. You were the ones who were ignoring the laws of spirituality and ignoring the laws of spirituality in favor of technology, progress, acceleration, not wanting to tap into, I'm going to say, the yin energy, the receptive energy, the more feminine energy, the creative energy, very logical, very logic-driven. And by ignoring the other side of that, so by ignoring the yin energy, by ignoring the divine feminine energy inside of yourself, and by that extent also ignoring the spiritual laws, you are part of the reason why Atlantis crumbled in the end and why the cataclysm happened. So that's one aspect of the unresolved karma. For those of you where that does not ring true and you don't feel like you have unresolved karma there because, like you've been working through that through the lifetimes, and not everyone was standing on that side, even in that society, right? In that civilization, there were also those who are very tuned into the receptivity, who try to make that shift happen. All of you are here for the same reason, because once again, in this moment in time, this moment in human history, we are at a time where that cyclical nature, remember, you're the weaver, the cyclical nature, where that aspect of the story, I'm going to say, is repeating itself. We are once again finding ourselves in a position in time where the divine feminine energy has been suppressed and severely neglected for many thousands of years, and the spiritual laws have been more or less ignored and exchanged for technological progress and logical advancements. In short, I can say we are in need of reintegration of the divine feminine energy. We are. We are in need of balancing these energies out within ourselves, and when we balance them out within ourselves, we also balance them out as a whole collective of human consciousness. That like rebalancing, like rotation, like this rebalancing and fine-tuning, adjusting of that particular energy balance that I just spoke of is at the core of your mission. You are someone who acts as an activator for others. You are balancing that energy out within yourself. That's the way that you shine and radiate out your energy. It's very subtle, and for most people, it's, they don't consciously pick up on it. They don't really know what's happening, but they can feel it on a subconscious level and understand it on a subconscious level. So you are becoming this beacon of this balanced light, this balanced yin and yang energy within yourself. This full reconnection to the receptivity within yourself is going to be the biggest key for you to build what you're here to build. So the rebalancing is a huge aspect of that. What is the vehicle that you choose to, I'm going to say, spread the message? And now we're coming back to the throat chakra. It's not just about you fully expressing yourself. By the way, I wouldn't be surprised if you, or at least some of you, have been grappling with topics of gender identity in the past, or if that's something that will crop up for you in the future. I wouldn't be surprised. And I'm saying that because of this energy balance, the way that I'm going to say, like masculine, feminine, and like men, women, the way that this is structured in our society, now, or at least like in the Western world, that's the one that I can speak of, is very, very narrow and very, what's the right word here, without wanting to be rude about it. It's like a small cage, and you accessing that energy within yourself and rebalancing that within yourself, you are going to basically explode that cage. So there will be things surrounding like topics of gender and the way that all of this is handled in our society. Like none of this is is going to make sense to you. Just overall, just overall. Let me get back to your mission, because the like gender topic is like a whole nother reading in itself that we're not going to go into today. Do let me know if you would be curious about that from a spiritual perspective, though, in the comments down below. Okay, now refocusing my energy here. So you are balancing that out within yourself, and you are helping others balancing this out within yourself. And remember how I said that you will draw a collective towards yourself of like-minded souls, like-minded frequencies. Maybe that's the best way to put it, like-minded frequencies. And it will be people who have balanced these energies out within themselves as well, or they are in the later stages of it. Part of your isolation that you're experiencing at this time is to prepare you and to help you balance out these energies within yourself first, in isolation, so that you get to learn what your energy feels like when it's not influenced by anyone else and by anyone else's opinion, etc. And when you're strong and grounded in that, you radiate that out, you feel ready to go out and meet people, or you feel ready to go out and share, and that's when the collective is going to come in. Okay, so the collective that meets up together with you will be mostly healed individuals. And when I say mostly healed, there's like always a little bit more to do, but the brunt of it, the like biggest aspect of this healing work will have been done by you at that point when you meet up with them. Together you will create, I'm hearing the word a city. It's going to be like a city, and the city, I feel like for you, is not in physical form. The city is going to be a global network. You are going to create some kind of global community of people working on the same topic, where people can come together and meet, so that they will not feel alone going through that the way that you did. And through doing this kind of work, you will, this like interconnectedness, we see that here as well, right? Forgot about that. But that's essentially what it is. You are going to create not just you, the collective, but everyone else who signs up for this platform and is in communication with one another, etc. All of you together, you are going to create a new kind of energy grid that's going to span the entire globe, anchoring these kinds of frequencies deeper into the earth. And that's how you're going to do that. Okay, that was actually very in-depth. By the way, did you notice did you notice that my throat completely calmed down now? Just, like I'm just putting that message out there that, like my throat completely calmed down. Okay. I think this is as far as the snake spirit wants to go with that mission of yours. Am I correct? Okay, I just heard yes. What would you like to talk about now? Just heard how to get there. She just said how to get there. Because the snake spirit that I'm channeling, like she's female. How to get there. I'm sure you're curious about that as well. How to get there. Okay, let me leave these two. Actually, no, let me bring them here. Let's bring that down a bit. Yeah, like that. Okay, which deck would you like me to use, please? Okay, I'm gonna choose some mixed decks, okay? Just so you know, I'm gonna pull some cards and then I'm gonna get into this. So, how can my pile ones get there? Okay, I'm gonna pile Do you see what I see? 1 ink, 2 ink. Do you see the symbolism here? Okay. Just as a little side note. Place 1. Okay, that's like way too many. Okay, I'm taking this one. And would you like me a third one? Okay, thank you. All right. I'm taking this one as well. By the way, we got the 7 of Wands underneath the deck, and just look at the imagery, because this image as well, and this card also speaks about balancing the energies out and staying balanced in the face of, I'm going to say, being met with energies that are not balanced and that are trying to bring you off course or harass you in any way, shape, or form. I feel like right now I'm going to take that one as well. All right, we got the Emperor. We got the Emperor. Already, like, I don't feel called to speak about the symbolism here. That's for you to discover. I feel like that's for you to dive into. So, look up the symbolism of the Ankh and what it means. All right. You got the 2 of Swords. We had the 2 of Wands. We have the 7 of Swords. And then as the bottom deck energy, we had the 7 of Wands. Let me bring that up. Yep. Okay. So first of all, I'm being drawn to the highlight here of the third eye from the Emperor. The third eye is highlighted, and the Emperor in this particular deck speaks about the ruler. It speaks about the authority figure, the pure power and energy, willpower, determination, and the practical means to create whatever you want to create. In terms of how can you get there, we've established that right at this time, at the present moment, you are working on balancing out these energies within yourself. We know that you got the yang energy down, the masculine energy down, because of the Atlantis message that we channeled, right? The one that is very logic driven, very, very active, and less in the receptive energy. That's you. You already mastered that kind of energy. You can push through. You have an incredible sense of willpower. You already have that. It's time for you now to integrate the divine feminine into that. In terms of, let your actions that you want to take not be steered by the logical mind, but let the actions that you want to take be steered by the intuition and by the intuitive guidance that you receive from yourself. A practice that I can give you would be every single day to sit down, calm the mind it only takes 5 minutes. Sit down, quiet the mind, and then ask your higher self, or ask yourself, what's the next aligned step? What's the next aligned step that I can take today? Listen to the answer that comes to you, and then go and do it. This will achieve 2 things. Number 1, it is going to help you develop your intuition and hearing your own intuition and the input and guidance more clearly. So over time, doing that and repeatedly taking the actions is going to strengthen your intuition immensely, so that you will be able to hear more and more and perceive more and more. And secondly, it is going to set you up on the path to creating this kind of community. The reality of it is that you don't just stumble into this new timeline, into your highest timeline to create this community. There are many energetic upgrades happening for you along the way. And when you receive that inner guidance of, okay, this is the next aligned step for me to take, and you take that action, you don't need to worry about it with your logical mind as to how everything fits together. You can relinquish or surrender that kind of need to micromanage the situation. Trust that your intuition knows where you're going. It knows that you are stepping towards this highest timeline of creating that community. And trust the guidance that you receive. It is bringing you are like on the path already, and it is bringing you there. At the same time, I want to say two things. We have the Two of Swords and the Two of Wands, right? The Two of Swords speaks about not knowing which way to turn, feeling like you quite literally can't see, feeling like you can't move forward, you don't know which way to turn, you don't know what the next step is, because you're trying to overcomplicate things. And I mean that in the most gentle way possible. When it comes to these divine missions, it is impossible to know every single turn before you're starting. It's impossible to know exactly where the journey will lead you, what kind of steps you're taking, and who you're going to meet along the way, how it's going to end up, because these kinds of divine missions do not unfold based on the regular rules that human society has for careers and how things can progress. And you need to free yourself from that, from those kinds of expectations, from those kind of setups. Doesn't mean that in the physical form you don't need to have your, I'm going to say, shit together, in the sense of if you have a company, of course you need to sign up for it with the government and have like all of the paperwork done and like, you know, like all of these little things. Of course, all of these things need to be done. But how it all progresses, how, let's say, the marketing for it looks like is incredibly different to the way that a regular company operates. Because you're not working with like regular, tangible, physical means only. You're working more on the level of energy, and it takes a bit of time to get used to working and operating in this different way, particularly if you have people surrounding you that are operating in the old way, I'm going to call it. Because your approaches to creating things will look very, very vastly different. Trust your intuition, trust your guidance, allow it to lead you forward, and you will start to see the results. The right people will come and meet you. The right opportunities will arise for you. But you need to start going, you need to start following those little nudges of your intuition before they make sense. So in a way, the snake spirit is letting you know that you don't need to figure every single step out. You just need to know, like, you don't need to know the next 200 steps that you need to take. You just need to know the next one. And then you take it, and then you get the next one, and the next one, and the next one. And just like bring all of this, because there's like so much energy happening in the mind. I mean, I spoke about the fear in the beginning. The fear is still something that's very, very present here, very tangible, and I can feel it. So working on overcoming that kind of fear and topics of doubt as well would be very beneficial for you. I will also say, feeling like you can't fully perceive or like you can't fully see into the future, you don't know what's going on there, as well as your throat chakra, by the way. If you feel called to go to any kind of energy healer, whatever resonates with you, you know, whichever kind of practice resonates with you, and you feel called to go book a session with them and go ahead and do that, please go ahead and do that. Will be very beneficial for you whenever you're ready. Okay, there's no rush for any of this. This is not a thing of either you do it tomorrow or it's not going to happen. You know, this is like the mission that we spoke of here today. This is like lifetime mission. highest possible timeline of your life purpose that you can achieve. So that was about this card. With the Two of Wands, you are at a crossroads. When you look at this, you see there is a choice to make, and you feel very small, and the choice feels overwhelming. Like I feel like what I just told you about the potential of your timeline and what you can create and how this can impact the world and like Earth consciousness and Earth consciousness, human consciousness at large. Like this is a big thing. And it's very easy to drop into a sense of fear and feeling like, oh my God, this is too much for me. It's way too big. I can't possibly do that. First of all, we're going to take a deep breath, all of us together now. Take a deep breath in. And out. Let's do another one. Better. Again, you are not creating this tomorrow. This is not I'm taking this one step and then I'm finished. This is something that is going to build step by step by step. Your self-confidence in yourself, in your abilities, in your mission, in your truth, in your authentic expression are also going to develop and grow step by step by step along the way. You don't need to be ready for the entirety of the mission. You don't need to be ready for the end picture of the mission right now, because that's not where you are at. Can you take the first step that your intuition gives you today? You always be ready for that. Always. I can promise you that. The Two of Wands also poses a question for you. The highest possible timeline and the vision that I shared with you is completely optional. It is your highest timeline, but it is not necessary for you to take that. You have free will. You can choose to go that route. You can choose to take that option, and you can also choose not to. When it comes to missions and timelines and highest mission, highest possible timeline, there's one very important thing I need you to understand. You have one mission. That mission is to balance out these energies within yourself and then to share that in one way, shape, or form with others. How exactly sharing that with others look like is variable. There are many different timelines where you are fulfilling that mission of yours. And in each of these timelines, the way in which you are helping others balance out these energies looks different. What we have tapped into here today is the highest possible outcome, the highest possible impact that you can have when you are fulfilling this mission. If you choose to take another different timeline where the impact is, I'm going to say maybe more in the local community and like smaller rather than going big on this global scale, this does not mean that you have failed your mission, okay? It just means that in this lifetime, that's the kind of impact that you were ready for, that you could do. Life down here on Earth is fucking hard. It's fucking hard. And it's hard when you are someone who remembers so much of your history and of your past and of your spirituality and being tapped and tuned into all of these other energies. It's very difficult to stay grounded, and it's very difficult because we're still perceiving all of these things through the filter of the human mind with all of the hardwired guidelines of the human mind, and it's not easy by any means at all. So it's very important for you to know that like it's a choice for you, and it's not a choice that you need to make right now. There will be several moments throughout taking these steps of your intuition where you will have the opportunity to decline certain timelines and accept certain timelines. And I also want you to know, because you're prone to overthinking, don't overthink it. When you trust your intuition and you feel good going forward, doing the things that you'll feel called to do, and when I say feel good, there might be moments where you will feel a little nervous to do something, but you will feel that it's the right thing for you to do. That is what I mean when I say feel good. It doesn't mean that everything is always comfortable, because you will push through like major parts of discomfort in your mind, etc., with the expansion that you can go through. And being the kind of person that can hold the space for that kind of community, requires a lot of growth. But it's still a choice for you. And when you follow this intuition and you see where it's leading you, trust that your intuition will guide you along the way to the timeline in this lifetime, the way that you can fulfill this mission in this lifetime that is right for you. Whether that's the highest possible one that we tapped in today or it's something else is irrelevant on that front. And the Seven of Swords here is a card of indecision. It's a card of looking to the future, looking to the past. It's also a card of not being present. It's a card of looking to the future and looking to the past, and being so tripped up in the mind by what happened, what could have happened, what will happen, what might happen, and all of this is tinted in a charcoal gray color, meaning there is an air of pessimism present, an air of perfectionism as well. With like perfectionism, like there is a feeling that you don't ever want to make a mistake. And perfectionism is a bit of a loophole that the mind creates. Let me explain what I mean. Perfectionism for the human mind is a way to try and evade pain. If I do this thing perfectly, no one can say anything. No one can criticize me. No one can tell me I'm wrong. No one has anything to say to me that's negative and critical to me. That's the lie that perfectionism tells. If I do this perfectly, I will be free of criticism. And that's where the overthinking sets in. There are a lot of things to think about when you're trying not to upset anybody, not to make any mistakes, and to try and bring yourself into a position where you can no longer be critiqued. I hate to break it to you. Also, honestly, I also kind of love breaking this to you. That position is impossible to reach. We have free will here on Earth. People will always have things to critique. And I need to change my battery, and I will be right back. People will always have things to say about you, who you are, what you do, what you think, what you feel, what you express. That's how it is down here on Earth. You are allowing the potential distaste or disdain from other people to dictate your actions, and it's making you unhappy. The earlier you can learn to allow yourself to make mistakes and to not be perfect And more importantly, to work through your fear of being criticized and what's connected to that, like where is it coming from in this lifetime? What happened there? The easier it will be for you to move forward with this mission. You are someone who's working more on the forefront, and that's especially important for you to get straight in your head. The reason I say that is because when you are stepping out with something, I'm going to say a little more unconventional, of course, people have lots of things to say. People always have lots of things to say, but particularly when you're stepping out with an idea, project, or opinion or whatever that is unconventional to any degree. For a lot of people, for like the wider masses, I'm going to say, okay? It's difficult for people to navigate that, but when you look back in human history, or let's say human science, every single time someone proposed a new model of Earth or the universe, or made any new kinds of claims of discovery, whatever, people did laugh at them every single time and told them they were crazy. Until science developed new ways of measuring and actually proved them right. But there was a long period before that happened. There was a long period where people were made fun of and they knew that they were right, so they were holding true to their energy. I feel like overall, like you're reading and like the biggest message for you to get there is to hone your own energy. And remember how I said that right now you're learning how to ground yourself fully in your energy without the influences from anyone else. This is why it's so important for you to learn that, to stand strong in your energy, to be grounded in your energy and your intuition, to trust yourself so much, is because when you are ready to step out with your ideas, with your opinions, with your mission, whatever form that may take, there will be a little bit of pushback. But at that point, when that happens, you will be so strong and firm in your own energy, your belief system, and what you know to be true, that this is not something that will veer you off course. Another way to say that would be all of this like mind stuff that's going on right now, that's just what it is, you know, it's like the ego mind that fears rejection. Yeah. So any way that you feel called to clear whatever we spoke of in this reading, because we touched on multiple aspects, that will be the way for you to go. And I feel like our snake spirit wants to leave it here. Or do you want me to draw one more card? Okay, one card of encouragement is coming right up. Okay, final message for pile ones. Whoa, that one fell. We've got rapture, sensuality, love, devotion, romance, ecstasy, pleasure. Can you please focus? Yeah, okay, here we go. At the moment, you're focusing more on what could go wrong. Start to focus more on what could potentially go right and on the pleasure of it all. How good would it feel to create that community? How good would it feel to be a part of that community? How good would it feel to contribute to others feeling seen and heard and held? As a daily action, you could take a couple of minutes, maybe before you fall asleep, envisioning that feeling of what it will be like when you created that community. Okay. That's the closing message of the snake spirit for you. My lovely pile number ones. when you have created that community, send me an email. I would love to check it out. And I'm excited for you. If you see, my throat is back now. I heard it. You heard it probably as well. If you need some energy work or some assistance surrounding this topic of clearing the third eye and the throat chakra, if you feel called, you could, of course, book a one-on-one session with me, a Reiki session, or tapping. But I'm veering more towards Reiki. If you feel called for that, you can, of course, do that. But again, there's so many different avenues of doing this kind of work, and go to a practitioner that you feel comfortable with, that you feel called to. With that said, there will be 3 additional resources coming your way, actually. Is it 3? Yeah, it is. The first one is an EFT tapping video to help you clear any resistance that you might have towards unlocking your full potential. I will also leave a video down below for you surrounding the topic of the fear of being seen, so you can also check that one out. There will be a short 5-minute Reiki-infused affirmation track to help you ground your energy in this limitless potential of yours. And then the third one is going to be a general Reiki treatment to help you unlock that potential. But I will say that for the collective, I can't do, I can do a general session for the collective, but I can't go into the throat chakra of the collective and release whatever might be there. You know what I mean? So I can't do that, but that will be there as support for you coming out later this week. And I've rambled on long enough. Have a beautiful rest of your day, and I hope I see you soon. Bye. If you felt drawn to the calcification card and or the amethyst, welcome to your reading, my lovely pile number 2s. And we're going to start this off by reading this card from the guidebook. The first message that I have for you from the Snake Spirit is to read this, and the message that what I'm about to read is your manifesto. The calcification card speaks about change and transmutation through fire and heat. So let me get my guidebook out somewhere at the end. I know that much. There we go. Calcification, heat, fire, and desire. Calcinatio is the great alchemical operation of fire. It occurs when there is enough heat in the vessel to transform the nature of that which is solid or fixed. How does calcinatio begin? With a tiny glimmer, an urge, a desire that builds into a robust flame. On a psychic level, this stage may be an uprising of emotion that has been repressed or dismissed. It wants something big to change, to be brought to the light and purified. Perhaps a flawed ideology, institution, or outlook. Frustration and anger are wondrous change makers if their heat is channeled with space, time, and awareness. The transformation that occurs from calcinatio is rarely harmonious. It requires commitment and a willingness to sit through discomfort as old patterns fall into the ashes. The flame initiates sacred change, and eventually the phoenix rises. Let me just see what's written on these sides here. Right side speaks about fire as a ritual. Yeah. Okay. So this is your manifesto. I mean, that's a start to a reading, all right? We are in times of like big transformation and big changes that need to occur, and you are the heat bringers, you are the change makers in that sense. That's really interesting. Before I'm going to speak more on this, I want to draw a couple more cards. So, lovely Snake Spirit, which deck would you like me to pull from in regards to this highest timeline and the mission? Pull one from here. All of these are pre-shuffled already, by the way. Okay, wow. You are not alone. Isolation, physical connection, community. Double mission. Lightworker, starseed, serve the world by being you. I almost said save the world by being you. So we're going to take that one as well as like save the world by being you. What's interesting is that this card also popped out in pile number 1. And I feel like pulling a different deck as well. What do we have underneath? Breath of the cosmos, my will to thy will, micromanaging the universe. Okay, I'm going to pop that to the side for now. What else? I feel called to pull from the tarot deck. So, what message can you give us for this mission? Oh, okay. Okay, I'm taking these. You see, they want to fly out a lot. 4 of boons underneath the deck. So, topics of scarcity and the... Oh, I just heard the words wealth management. Okay, I'm taking that one. Wealth management. And then here we have this one first, which is the card of the liar. Okay, your mission here is going to be juicy. And you can already hear me smiling, right? The 7 of boons. Okay, I need to make some more space here. And then we have these 3 came out together. We got the card of the lovers. So they form one message, but I wanted to show them to you. Come on, let me pop up the snake here for a moment. The 9 of boons. And the 4 of challenges. Wait, the 4 of challenges came out earlier than this. Where did it come out? Okay. That's the way I need to rearrange that. Okay. This feels right. Let me pop your amethyst up there and put this one down here. So, double mission. There is no other way to say that, but in your highest timeline, the kind of work that you're doing, or you fulfilling your full potential, is you redistributing the wealth of the world fairly and creating abundance for all. I say that for several reasons. I'm leaving this one out for the moment. I'm just focusing on the tarot right now. The 4 of boons speaks about, in this deck, this is the, I think, enchantment of the forest tarot deck, and it tells a full story with like all of these images. In this particular card, you see these troll women that have baked their cakes and they want to sell it. But you see how unfriendly they look, right? There's even one really like all the way down there at the bottom underneath the table, and basically every single one that comes to them, who wants to buy a pie, gets judged and treated very, very rudely, and as a result of that, they never sell anything that they have. And they basically send everyone away. So they are hoarding the wealth in that sense, okay? They're hoarding the wealth. We got the liar, which is in... And like this is the overarching, underneath the deck energy is always like the overarching theme of whichever cards came out. So, well, the card of the liar here, you see that he wants to beckon us on this other path and wants us to go there. And in combination with the 4 of challenges here, you see that there is all of this snow around, all of this ice, this frozen landscape, and just one single tree that is in bloom and one single tree that is abundant with all of these fruits there. And if you, for example, if you were on a journey through this enchanted forest and it was freezing and cold all around and you happened to stumble upon this tree, you'd be so happy to find something to eat, right? In combination, these two speak about the lies surrounding the topic of abundance and how there is not enough for all, and how not everyone has what it takes to have, or to be abundant and to live a life that is rich and abundant in material wealth, in happiness, in love, in joy, in health, abundance all around. And how at the moment there is this mentality of, if you go down this road and if you like, I'm going to say, I'm smiling even saying that, if you like go down this route and you work your ass off, invest, work your way up into the company, like at one point you will also be able to have a good amount of wealth. And I'm referring, of course, right now to the way that the system is set up as a whole to keep only a few people in wealth and most of society in stages of fight or flight, through low wages, etc., and keeping people in a perpetual state of fear. And that's the lie that this liar speaks about, like if you do everything according to the rules, then you will be able to be this one tree, like this one in a million super entrepreneur, or whatever else comes to mind when it comes to these kinds of promises. 1 in a million, that's the word here. 1 in a million. And it's like, that's the lie that we've been sold, and you are here to change this system, to change not only, I'm going to rephrase that, you are here to, number one, change the system, number two, change the belief systems that are in place in human society as a whole, and like human consciousness as a whole, surrounding the topic of abundance and distribution of abundance, acquiring abundance, and the feeling that, or the belief that not everyone can be in abundance at the same time, creating overall an abundant society where where everyone has a home, everyone has food, everyone has clothes, everyone has their needs met, and everyone is free to explore themselves and express themselves. That's it. That's the main thing for you. The highest timeline, that's what you're here to create. Full potential, that's what you're here to create. With the 7 of Boons, you see that all of these doors here are closed. And I find it interesting that it's underneath the liar. It's like, your work is going to be also largely around encouraging people to take a step into the direction of their freedom. I'm getting the sense of, you will help people who are stuck in analysis paralysis. There is this fear state of people when their backs are against the wall in terms of, let's say, their profession and doing work and making money to even just make ends meet and be able to pay all of their general bills, like for their home, utilities, food, maybe some school supplies for the kids and all of that stuff, like just the bare essentials. And you are going to work with people like that in the beginning. You're going to work with people like that to help them see that they have more opportunities than they were led to believe. That there are always other options available for them. Because in their fear state, they got this analysis paralysis going on in the sense of, they don't know which way to turn, they don't know which door to open, and all of them feel kind of promising, but at the same time, there's like fear holding them back from opening any of them and stepping through any of them, so they stay put and they stay where they are, which of course what I'm describing is the exact way that the system is set up in regards to having like lower wages, etc., which keeps people more inclined to stick in one place where they have a job, where they have like an income, even if that's not enough. This is better than nothing. And that's sort of the general belief that's surrounding it. And you are here to open these doors for people, to help them see what's possible. And with the Lovers and the Nine of Boons, let me give me one moment here. Okay, so you are working on the topic of abundance all around. There is a book that is coming to my mind right now as I'm looking at this. It is from Gay Hendricks, and it's called The Big Leap. If you have not read it yet, I would highly recommend for you to check it out, because what I'm picking up here is something that is mirrored in the book. And it speaks about our tendency as humans to self-sabotage, how we believe that there is one area that can be good in our lives, but that there are certain parts that we don't allow to be good. Let's say, and we're like putting limits on that. Let's say we are very successful in our jobs, but then we are unsuccessful in our romantic relationships because we tend to sabotage them in one way or another, or put any other combination in there. Okay, so it speaks about exactly these kinds of limiting beliefs, and I see that mirrored here because we're talking about the job, and then we get the Lovers and the Nine of Boons. And I mean, the Lovers speaks about romantic relationships in the context of this reading as well, and the Nine of Boons is someone who is by themselves. This also speaks about how romantic relationships and having a romantic relationship is not the abundant way of living for every single person on this planet right now. And that some people would feel their absolute best if they were by themselves and taking care of themselves. And, like the Nine of Boons, when you see that here, that's what she's depicting. She has made herself a home, like in the depth of the forest, very cozy. She's very abundant, has her own garden, takes care of the animals that are around, and is generally speaking like a very happy camper out there. You see, she's got like a pet moth. And we see these two possibilities here as well for creating your life, with someone by yourself. I'm getting the sense that overall there's like a huge liberation on the front of how to live an abundant life, or how to live a life that feels abundant to the people that you will impact. Let me bring this back to you are not alone, isolation, physical connection, community, and double mission. There is a uniting factor to your work, which is interesting because that was also part of pile 1, but in a very different way. I'm getting the words unionizing. And in your highest timeline, the kind of mission, the kind of work that you're doing to dismantle these old systems, it's almost like you will bring together all of the people, just all of the people who have been oppressed, who have been suppressed, who have been limited by the beliefs and this kind of like lie that has been told and sold to them. All of them, like you're bringing them together in some kind of union, for lack of better term. I don't think union is the right word, but I don't have, not even in my native language, I don't have the right word to describe that kind of community. it seems to me like that form of community doesn't exist currently, and you're the one who will create it. You will work to create it. But you will bring them together, and through bringing them together, it's going to be very beneficial to dismantle these beliefs and these systems, because when it comes down to the way that our systems are working, they're only working because people are, to some degree, buying into that kind of narrative, and through the kind of work that they're doing, are upholding this kind of structure, because these people by themselves, the ones that are at the very top, they themselves, just by themselves, they can't uphold the structure. So you are almost like eroding the structure at its base. I'm getting like big revolutionizer energy here. Through you bringing this kind of union together, the people will no longer feel alone. There will be the connection between the people, and the ripple changes are happening from there. It's going to be a catalyst for a lot of people to completely take control over their own lives and create abundance for themselves, abundance for their communities, and abundance all around. Double mission, Lightworker, Starseed. Save the world by being you, and serve the world by being you. We all know that we are in dire need of changes. And we all know that we are in dire need of upgrades to the system of society and how things are structured. The very thing that I've been speaking about here, with the kind of path, the kind of idea that has been sold, the kind of mindset that has been implanted into people and conditioned into people, from that point to understanding that there are a lot of choices, a lot of possibilities to move forward, and discovering which ways of living are the most beneficial to you and feel the best for you. This kind of journey that we went on here is a journey that you yourself have been on and are on. The moment that you will be ready to unionize a larger community, to change the system over, it's not really, I almost said overthrow, but overthrow sounds not quite right, because overthrow sounds like a violent way of trying to eradicate the structure, and that's not what you're up about. Like, that's not what you're about. That's not what you're up to. There is a lot of heat, there is a lot of fire energy there, but it's very controlled. Okay, it's not a wildfire that runs rampant and like overthrows right, left, center, and just breaks everything down with like no plans for whatever comes next. You know what I mean? That's not what you're about. This is a very like calculated kind of fire. A very calculated kind of way of lightly kindling something here, lightly kindling something there. It's like very strategic. And like bit by bit things will change, and of course there will come a moment when I'm going to say like the scales are going to tip a bit, and that's when it will feel like a bit more heat and a bit more chaotic on the outside, as like in 3D terms things will restructure. But let me get back to this kind of journey that I spoke about. You will teach this, or you will bring this into the union from personal experience, okay? Meaning there either was or is a time in your life where you have experienced a severe amount of scarcity mindset, a severe amount of scarcity in your life, to whatever degree that may be. Whether that is physical in terms of belongings, not being able to pay your bills, perhaps even going homeless for a moment there, to discovering the lie, uncovering those kinds of lies, working through your mindset, changing your mindset, tapping back into it, tapping back into the energetics of how things actually are, being able to perceive the different kinds of choices and possibilities, and then starting to take tangible action in the physical to create what you want to create, as well as figuring out a way to be successful in your career, be successful in your relationships, whether that is romantic or whether that is with Mother Nature and perhaps your friends, more platonic, and creating a place where you want to live, where you love to live. So the moment that you have the opportunity to fully step into this highest timeline is when you've gone through that yourself. That also means fundamental change in career for you, at least once. Because when you leave that and you start to manifest better for you, you start to create better for you, and things will start to feel very, very easy. That's the moment when you will start to teach what you learned from there, and then that's the jumping off point where the mission can grow. So at the beginning it will be like a smaller pool of people that you can teach this different abundance mindset to, etc. And then from there on, it will grow and grow and grow and grow and grow and get like bigger and bigger circles. And at the beginning, the way that the other people will perceive your energy is as this 4 of challenges, where that's what it's going to feel like for the people when they find you. Stumbling through this kind of frozen forest, the frozen area, and then they happen to come across this magically abundant tree, and they're like, how did you do that? How did you do that? And then you start to teach and unpack. So in the beginning of fulfilling this mission of yours, or fulfilling the highest timeline of yours, is to create that kind of life for yourself through dismantling all of these beliefs. I would like to see, maybe we can get some more input. Okay, I feel like pulling 2 additional cards for this. I'm going to move this. And, I didn't put it together. I think it's kind of self-explanatory here. It was like, serve the world by being you and save the world by being you. That's exactly what I meant when I was saying that, okay, you live this example yourself, and then from that point of experience, you will teach and share. That's this double mission here. Let me put this on top. I think that's a much better depiction. Okay, so I want one from here. Can you please give me one more message? Okay, I said 1, we got 2. Fine enough, we got the card of protection. Solitude. This brings me back to the card that I had, the last one, right? Where she is in her forest cottage by herself. Alright, I want to pull one more. I'm going to pull one more. Okay. Okay. And underneath it, you got another card of community, just so you know, okay? Sureness of the soil, unseen help, support, community, and held. Taking this one to the side for now. And we got the rose garden with innocence, forgiveness, be gentle with yourself. The child within, inner mother, innocence, gentleness, and tenderness. Actually placing them on top here, like this. So with the protection, solitude, I'm getting 2 messages. Number 1 is you in this mission of yours, in this full potential of yours, you will act as this protector and be the force between the ones higher up and the people that you are helping with their liberation. Number 2, as a message, at this moment, you are called to protect your solitude. This moment right now is very important. I say this moment, but also this period in your life right now is very important because you are learning how to adjust your energy, adjust your frequency. I feel like you're heavy in like manifestation work, heavy in topics of wealth manifestation. You are learning how to create a frequency and your energy in such a way to generate the kinds of results that you want to see. You're experimenting. I could also make it more simple and say you are experimenting. You are experimenting with a way to create wealth, to be more independent, and steering away from the kind of scarcity mindset and scarcity message that is spread throughout the world. So that's where a big part of the solitude comes in. It's almost like a detox of, like detoxifying, purifying yourself from this kind of messaging and then staying clear from influences of all different kinds that would almost throw you back into the old narrative so that you can hold strong and hold true to the new kind of frequency that you want to embody moving forward. To create what you want to create. You are in the I was going to say, you are in the meatiest stage of, on the juiciest, better word. You are in the juiciest stage of creating that kind of abundance and creating that kind of wealth because you are learning all the techniques that work for you, that help you. In the juiciest stage of the self-experimentation, trying to draw in the new. That's where you are right now in regards to this. You may also experience a feeling of disconnection from people, places, and activities that you used to enjoy in your life. And you know it no longer resonates, you know it's no longer true for you, and it can feel a bit sudden for the people surrounding you, and it can almost feel like you are isolating, and people might be worried that you're not doing well, and there might be a little bit of pushback coming to you from that front. And it may even be that you surprise yourself because it's like, I'm like questioning whether or not it's feelings of depression, by the way. It's like completely losing interest in something that you used to or that you enjoyed doing, and people that you enjoyed to see for a long time can be a sign of depression. And you might even be confused yourself because you're like, but I actually feel pretty good and I don't know why this no longer resonates with me. I just know it doesn't. And it's almost like like a moment of disruption, of like an energetic cut. It's like there are several energy cords that have been cut as you decided to move into this new, and like the old people, the old places, the old things you can't take with you because their frequency is completely off. Their frequency is very grounded in the old way of being for you. So grounded in buying into the story, grounded in this scarcity mindset, etc. And you're like, I want to create something entirely new, entirely different. And I cannot do that while I'm still in that environment. I cannot do that while I'm still connected to them. I can't speak about any of the topics I want to speak about and I want to discuss with any of them because they just don't get it. That's the kind of feeling that is coming through here with the protection and the solitude. And that's also why we got like the forgiveness and be gentle with yourself. It's possible that, so what I'm saying here, either it's something that you will experience or it's something that you already have experienced. And I feel like for a good portion of you, it's something that you have already experienced, but you didn't fully have the words to describe it, to describe what was happening, you know, like this feeling of, is it depression? What's going on? It's like an energy upgrade. You're getting several energy upgrades and downloads, etc. And based on that, you feel called to do certain actions or to no longer do certain actions and be around certain peoples, etc. All of that stuff. You may have hurt a few people by the way, or with the way that you were disconnecting from them. So you're called to forgive yourself. I forgive myself. Does it mean that you could not have done it in a better way? But it means that you accept the way that things happened, the way that things were, and you no longer carry that burden. If you feel called to reach out to someone and apologize, of course, you know, like trust your intuition. With all of these things, you can do that in whatever way, shape, or form that you feel called to, but start with forgiving yourself. The child within, inner mother, innocence, gentleness, tenderness. I mean, we got two of being gentle with yourself and taking gentle and tender care of yourself. This transition period that you're in right now, it's not easy. And it's not easy to unlearn all of these things. And it's not easy to try out different methods and to go about things in a new way, to think about the world and the universe from an energetic standpoint and from a standpoint where everything is possible. And it's not the norm to view the world in this way. So it comes with a lot of challenges. So please be gentle with yourself and trust yourself. Like you're not doing this because you want to piss other people off or because you're a bad person by disconnecting. You're trying to create something new. And there's this saying as well that you cannot heal in the environment that made you sick in the first place. And I'm not saying that to blame any of the other people either. You know, because they are and have been part of the system as much as you have. They're just a bit too caught up by the fear and they don't see all of these doors, you know, they don't see it right now. They can't see them. They can't see them as clearly as you do. So forgive yourself for seeing the door, walking through, and trust that you will be able to support them later on if you feel called to and if they are ready for it. Because your impact is going to be big, big changes. Okay. Let me check in. Snake, do you want to go a bit deeper into the purpose? No. Okay, what do you want to talk about now? Okay, some advice. I'm going to pull some advice cards for you. Let me put them back for my different decks here so I don't mess them up later. Which deck do I feel called to? I feel like you need some gentle messages, honestly. Also, I would give you a hug. if you like that, of course. Not everyone's a person who enjoys hugs. Okay, so, all right, we already got the first two. Didn't even get to ask my question. And we got make a decision number 11 at the bottom. But this card, by the way, it speaks less about making a decision and more about putting the decision into action and taking actionable steps to create. And it's interesting that we also have the desert here, and then we have like the lush rainforest here. Okay. Pause. Clear endeavor. I am going to read one of these cards for you in a moment, but I want to pull some more. What other advice cards do you have? Okay, for like the clearest ones. Okay. How can my pile number 2s? Oh my God, are you serious? You got another... You got another pulse card. What the hell? Listen, you gotta pause. You gotta, and underneath we have take a break. You gotta be kidding me. You gotta be kidding me with this. Holy moly. Okay, I want one more advice card for pile number 2s. Okay. Yes, no. Just looking at it. Okay, your thoughts create things. Okay, taking that one there. And we have put it in the rearview mirror. It's time to move on from a problem, issue, or struggle. Let go of regrets. Practice daily forgiveness towards yourself and others. Take a break from a personal situation to gain clarity. I'm sorry, I'm just laughing because there's like take a break. And there again. So you got pause, take a break, practice forgiveness. We spoke about the forgiveness as well. And then lesson we got speak your truth, practice being assertive, have an open and honest discussion with someone today. Speak up if someone is not respecting your boundaries, ask for your needs to be met. Public speaking and leadership are part of your divine mission and life path. Put yourself out there and let yourself shine. And we have oh my God, that is so funny. I don't think there is a single card left in these decks that speaks about alone time. All right. Alone time. Spend time alone with your thoughts today. Let go of FOMO. Learn to love yourself on a deeper level by spending more time alone. Set firm boundaries with others in order to commit to spending time alone. Build self-confidence by doing more solo activities. And I want to say here, have an open and honest discussion with someone today is something that jumped out at me when I read this card. And now we have set firm boundaries with others in order to commit to spending time alone. I feel like you need to have some discussions with a couple of people. Maybe this is for those of you where this kind of like, I spoke earlier in the reading, I spoke about the way that you either will leave or left a couple of situations and you know how you could have handled them a bit better and felt a bit abrupt. Maybe this is the point for you if you have not disconnected in that way yet, to have conversations with people. And then, pause. What else can I say? I'm going to read it. Pause, review, rethink, reread, or reassess a situation, decision, or document today. Avoid making decisions or plans on a whim right now. I feel the last one. Take some time out for yourself today to recharge. And we have take a break. Clearly communicate your needs to others today. This goes back to the alone time and setting the boundaries. And let go in order to allow time for your desires to manifest. Delegate tasks to others so that you can rest. Loosen your grip on a situation now to gain more peace and maintain a consistent sleep schedule in order to feel more well rested. I will read one of these in a moment, the Clear Endeavor card. I also want to read this one to you. Your thoughts create things. Commit to changing your thinking habits today. Visualize yourself succeeding and living the life you desire. Negative thought energy may be creating a block in your life. Focus on what you want rather than what you don't want, and raise your vibration to a higher frequency now. And now immediately I'm going to read the Clear Endeavor, and then I'm going to have a couple more things to say about all of it that go beyond the words of pause. Promise. Clear Endeavor. Something you truly desire requires a bigger commitment from you. This could be physical, emotional, or mental. Identify what your needs are at this time. Actually commit to this goal and be willing to put in the time to make it become reality. Commitment plus hard work will assist in bringing your goals to completion. Once you decide, give your best to everything that you do. It gives plenty of new opportunities for you to reach your goals in no time. Pay attention to signs along the way as nature works to assist you. Quick reminder that at the bottom of the deck, we had make a decision. I'm not going to read this for you, but okay? This is driving the point home. So, you are being called to take a break, to sit with yourself, do a little bit of a life review of where you are, where you want to go, what you want to manifest, how you want to go about it, and your thoughts create things. Do an audit of your emotional home. Check in with yourself and figure out where your emotional home is, meaning on your day-to-day, what are the main emotions that you are feeling with the most kinds of intensity? If you feel, simply put, if you feel happy and if you think more happy thoughts, it becomes a cycle where you will experience more happy things, think more happy thoughts, feel more happy feelings. At the same time, when you are feeling fear, anxiety, doubt, worry about the future, thinking about all of the ways in which things can go wrong, the kinds of decisions that you're making based on the thoughts that you're thinking are also not going to be have the highest potential, the highest kind of energy, because that's not where it originates from. You're being called to spend time by yourself to assess the status quo of where you're currently at, and then to see where you want to go and start to make the changes. In terms of thoughts, this can be learning techniques to disrupt thought patterns, learning techniques to program and reprogram your mind, installing new thought patterns, releasing old thought patterns, releasing emotional charges that no longer serve you, how to create a new emotional home in yourself. All of these different topics, which kind of other activities, maybe the way that the food that you eat, maybe the way in which you move your body, the way that you sleep, the kinds of hobbies that you engage in, how you fill your time when you're not working. How are all of these things affecting you, and are they helpful and supportive for the new way that you want to create? And that doesn't mean that you need to maximize every single second of your day, because clearly you're being called to also leave space to calm down, to slow down, and to pause and have some time to sit and meditate. But rather, when you are resting, are you allowing yourself to rest and really rest and recharge, or are you lying there and thinking about all of the things that you hate about your life, or that you hate about the world, or everything that went wrong in your life ever? And I'm not saying that, I want to be very clear, okay? I'm not saying that as a, to blame you or shame you in any way, shape, or form, okay? When you're conditioned in this way, and this is part of the conditioning that we touched upon earlier in the reading, it's hard to come out of this. And you're like continually upgrading and changing the way that you are perceiving your life, yourself, the world, the universe, the possibilities of your life. You're constantly changing and upgrading that. And this very process that we're speaking about here is the very process that you will teach to others. So please be kind and gentle with yourself as you are experimenting and moving forward. The kind of heat and the kind of fire that we have here at the center of it, the kind of anger that's here at the center of it. This card also spoke about how a controlled kind of anger can be a good fuel to make changes in your life. Refocus your energy. Okay, that was the last message for you. So my beautiful pile number 2s, that's it. There are 3 additional resources coming your way this week. The first one is a short Reiki-infused affirmation track to help you build this new mindset of unlocking your full potential and allowing yourself to tap into that. The second one is going to be a short EFT tapping session to help you release any uncomfortable thoughts, emotions, or sensations in your body that will keep you in place. And number 3 is going to be a 30-minute Reiki treatment to help you and support you on an energetic level. If any of those are out already, you can find them in a pinned comment down below. And with that said, have a beautiful rest of your day, and I hope I see you soon. Bye. If you felt drawn to the Wise Salt card and or the Rainbow Fluoride, welcome to your reading, my lovely pile number 3s. And the first word that I heard for you was Wisdom Keeper. You are the Wisdom Keepers, and we will see how that plays out in your highest possible timeline. Now, and at your full potential, of course. Now, when it comes to the card of the Wise Salt, it touches on a couple different aspects. The Wise Salt speaks about the wisdom that is collected along the way and slowly develops. The salt also speaks about perseverance, preservation, as well as absorption and grit. We will see how each of these qualities are playing out in your life and how they play out when it comes to your specific mission. One thing that already comes through is that you have had challenges with making the distinction between absorbing and preserving in your life. Let me explain that a bit deeper. When we think about salt as an agent for absorption, the image that comes to my mind is that you have a slippery, icy road, and then you throw salt on top, and the salt absorbs the ice so that it's no longer slippery and you can walk across. In terms of energies and the interplay as humans here, this would mean that you have taken on that which was not yours. You have been cleaning up the emotional and energetic environment surrounding you when you didn't need to, because things were a bit slippery to walk upon, and you have this quality of being able to absorb that which is not yours. The reason that why I said the distinction between absorption and preservation is that sometimes you have used that kind of quality of absorption in order to preserve something that, frankly speaking, was not worth being preserved. It was something that was ready to leave your life in one way or another, and things not playing out, particularly when it comes to relationships of all kinds, platonic, romantic, just things overstaying their welcome, people overstaying their welcome, and you wanting to preserve something that had no benefit to you. So you were absorbing, and trying to preserve these relationships. Preservation can have a positive quality as well. When you think about that, it's preserving food, preserving that which is nourishing to us. So you were using that kind of quality a little bit more on the shadow side, I'm going to say. No shade here, okay? That's just something that came through for you. I'm going to pull a couple more cards and then we will see how this ties in. So my lovely snake spirit, which deck would you like me to use? Okay, I'm being called to use more than one, so I'm just gonna pull, okay? All of these are pre-shuffled already, by the way. Can we please get some more information about this, timeline and the mission? Okay, I knew that there was a second one. And underneath the deck we got self-integration, okay. And I feel called to, one from here. Please get one card from here. Okay, immediately. And then one card from here. Please get one message card. Okay, thank you. What's underneath the deck? Angelic frequency. Okay. Angelic frequency. So let's have a look what we got, shall we? We got the card of resilience. We got the card of empowerment. I'm smiling already. I love this card so much. We got the card of change. And we got higher heart activation. Dropping shields, divine love, your heart is healed. With this portal that you can see here. Okay, I'm going to pull a couple more cards in a moment, but let me bring this together for you. Remember how I spoke for the wise salt about the wisdom that develops over time? The amount of wisdom that is developed over time, or has been and will continue to develop over time for you, is palpable in our cards today here. We got the card of resilience first and foremost, which speaks about about the perseverance through challenges, being resilient in the face of these kinds of challenges. This is the funny, I wanted to say the bread and butter of this journey, the bread and butter of developing wisdom is the capability of persevering through challenging times. And I'm coming back to the relationship aspect, and you trying to persevere something which was not beneficial for you, and also not beneficial for them either, beneficial for nobody, essentially, except maybe for the ego. Because we got the empowerment next, so it's like throughout this journey, you will learn, and you have learned, to empower yourself, to make the distinction between your energy and not just make the distinction between your energy and someone else's and no longer absorbing what's not yours, but you are valuing your energy and your self-preservation more than other things that are not beneficial for you. I'm just going to keep it as brief as that. I don't want to go a lot deeper into that, but I do want to read from the back of the deck here, back of the card. Empowerment. I'm already laughing. As you tap into your highest spiritual energy, feel motivated to solve problems that are in your material world. What practical solutions enter your mind? And we got this paired with a change card. This is the self-empowerment that drives a huge amount of change. And listen, it's like this. You being so in tune and in touch with your own energy, being self-empowered, meaning you know the ins and outs of your own energy, you trust it, you know what's yours, you know what's not yours, you know what to take on, you know what not to take on, you know where to persevere and or not to, you know, where to let things go, essentially. Feel like the lesson of letting things go is an ongoing concept or an ongoing lesson all throughout your life of knowing when to put the energy in to maintain and to nurture and when to let go, hold your horses, pun intended with the horse here, hold your horses and, you know, moving forward by yourself. This very aspect, just like learning what's not yours, is revolutionary for you. There is a certain kind of wisdom when it comes to the interactions that we have with other people and all of the challenges when it comes to relationships, be it platonic or romantic, and the complications that are connected to that you can only learn through experience and not from a textbook. And you have definitely learned them from experience and through experience, and it changed you a lot. It changes you a lot. All of the wisdom that you poured from these situations, you are funneling them into change for yourself. At the same time, you recognize that the act that you once engaged in of absorbing what was not yours and trying to preserve something that was not worth preserving and not worth of your energy, and in that sense, at least at a certain point, you know, it was a lesson that you needed to learn, and then you learned it and you realized, okay, I no longer need to go down that road, I no longer need to engage in that particular way. And what you have learned was that this act of absorbing what's not yours was a way for you to try and prove to yourself that you were worthy and deserving of love. It was not actually this absorbing and this like trying to preserve something was not coming from a pure place of wanting to make something work. It was coming from a place of survival. Let me clarify. There is / was a belief that you are not worthy and deserving of love, attention, and care to some extent. This is like a collective, right? It's not a personal reading, so I can't go deeper than that because the situations are going to be more different for each of you. The reasons are different. I'm not getting a clear read, which means that the energy when it comes to this is a bit too broad to bring into this reading to resonate for all of you. But that was a core belief that you have developed through your experiences in some life. So when you entered into relationships, you were entering them from the perspective of, yes, I am chosen, and being chosen means that I am lovable. It means that I am worthy and deserving of love. Because your self-worth and your self-belief was so closely tied to that particular relationship, you were clinging onto it and holding onto it for dear life, regardless of whether the person or the people that you were surrounding yourself with were actually good to you, good for you, and had your best interest at heart. It was a battle of the ego. It's the best way that I can phrase that. An act of trying to make yourself believe that you are worthy. So when you're coming into a relationship with that kind of pattern or that kind of perspective, you are, how can I phrase that? You are taking on responsibility when things don't go well, on an objective level, it's not your responsibility because it's always two people coming together in a relationship, and also tolerating more than would have been good for you. Because you were like, I can't fully give up on this. If I fully give up on this, it means that I'm not worthy and deserving of love and attention. But the thing as well is, when you develop this kind of self-belief, or you are conditioned into this kind of self-belief, let's be honest here, because it feels more like, it's a conditioned response to other experiences that you've had. You will pick subconsciously partners where you have to work incredibly hard in order to try and feel seen, in order to try and feel heard, in order to try and feel loved. So the relationships that you entered into were relationships where the people were acting in such a way that they mirrored that kind of self-belief back to you. It made you feel that like you were not worthy and deserving of love. I just heard of love and commitment. So for some of you, this is more on the romantic front. And the change in your empowerment comes from you showing yourself that you are worthy and deserving of love and commitment and attention, and by you giving that kind of energy to you. And that is the revolutionary change that you've been looking for. It sounds so simple, but it is very radical in a way, because when you develop that self-belief, that new self-belief about yourself, and you treat yourself in this way, you treat yourself well, and that means sometimes, of course, bubble baths, etc., but it means treating yourself well in all ways. It means allowing yourself to rest when you feel incredibly tired. It means taking care of your body. It means in the way that your body needs. It means taking care of your spirit in the way that it needs, just fulfilling your needs, and your needs from a perspective of, I want to love and nourish myself. I deserve to be loved and nourished. When that's your perspective, you will no longer accept the same kind of people into your life than you did before, because they have nothing to offer you anymore. You are no longer in a position where you need to have outside confirmation that you are worthy and deserving of love, care, and attention, because you know that you are, because you're giving it to yourself every single day. So you already know that you are. So that becomes a huge catalyst for change in your life that ripples out into far greater or has far greater ripples than you previously anticipated, because that also correlates then to the kind of jobs that you're working, the kind of work environments that you're accepting, the kind of salary that you're accepting, the kind of living situation that you are accepting and creating, and all of these things, the kind of social group that you're a part of, how you spend your free time. You know, when like healthy, nourishing self-care becomes a part of your lifestyle, there is very little room for self-destructive behaviors. I'm not going to go deeper into that, but just to give you one of these overviews. And that's why we get like dropping the shields here, dropping the shields, divine love. It's like the first time that you will experience true love. It's coming from yourself. You yourself. This is the highest timeline. At the same time, because your energy is so very, very different that I touched upon, right? The energy that you send out, you're getting right back. So the new people that are entering into your life are also vastly different and are also coming into these relationships, again, whether they are romantic, platonic, doesn't matter. Coming into these relationships from a perspective of wanting to nurture, nourish the connection. It's two people who inherently know that they are worthy and deserving of love, attention, and care. And essentially, it's two givers coming together. I could also break it down in this way. Whereas before, there was an imbalance between you being the giver and the other people being predominantly takers. And there was an imbalance, and you needed to give and give and give and give in order to make a point that you are actually worthy and deserving, because, you know, like otherwise they wouldn't take from you. You know what I mean? That was kind of the old thing. And there's like a lot of balance coming in for you in the highest timeline of yours. At the same time, with like the dropping shields here, when these new people are coming in, because they themselves are coming in from a healed perspective, it's safe for you to drop your shields. It's safe for you to open your heart, to open up again. I'm also noticing right now, as I'm looking at this, I mean, first of all, we get the two circles, the cyclical nature circling around at the same time. Do you look at the colors here? We come from kind of this like purple bluish color, and we go into the more pinkish. And do you see how this is actually, seeing that now, do you see how this is transitioning into the open heart? Color-wise, this is incredible. I love that. Listen, the change card also speaks about, you know, sometimes when we think about change, we are thinking about the fearful aspect of it, of, oh my God, all of this is changing and I don't no longer know what's up, what's down, what's right, what's left, and it can feel very, very scary. And the change card in this deck speaks about the joy in change, you know, like, I mean, it's a kind of a whimsical card, right? We have the carousel horse that is flying high, high, high above the clouds. And you are being invited to have fun with the way that you are loving yourself, the way that you are taking care of yourself. Like, make it fun for you. How can you make this fun for you? How can you make this enjoyable for you? To take care of yourself. When you have not been taking care of yourself and loving yourself in this particular way that we've been speaking of, it can feel a bit uncomfortable in the beginning. And, you know, maybe there is a cycle happening for a while where you feel very, very good because you've been treating yourself well, and then you take a certain action, whatever that may be, and you feel worse again. And, you know, it's like a battle of the mind. It's kind of, you're increasing the temperature in your life, is what I want to say here, okay? To clarify that, there is a baseline emotional temperature that we are all comfortable with, like how much success are we comfortable with in our life, how much love are we accustomed to have in our lives, and all of these limits that we have there. These limits are movable, okay? These are not like hard and fast things, but when things go a little bit too well for us, we can engage in these little slightly self-sabotaging behaviors to sort of like bring us down a notch. And it's a subconscious process. It's a very subconscious process because the new doesn't fully feel safe. And so, you know, we bring it down a bit. There is a fantastic book. I also recommended it in a different pile in today's reading, but they had like a very different energy from you. And it's the book, The Big Leap from Gay Hendricks, where he speaks specifically, I mean, it's geared a bit more towards work, but the principles also apply. And he touches a little bit on how we often allow ourselves one area of our life where we are excelling, and then we believe that not everything else can be good as well. You know, it's like we're almost bargaining. And it speaks about the psychology and the self-beliefs that can stand behind this behavior and are like underlying this kind of structure. So if you feel called to that, you could definitely read that or listen to it. Really enjoy that book. I'm actually re-listening to it right now myself. Little side point, because it's just that good. But I've had it for a couple of years now, and every now and then I return to it. And when I return to it, I hear the information in a new way. Excuse me there. So yes, your heart is healed. Let me see, my lovely snake spirit. What else would you like me to draw? Okay, I feel called to one of these. Please give us our, I say one, but I think two popped out. What do you have at the bottom of the deck? The Seven Star Sisters, Birthing Creations, Tapestry of Life and Expression. And you see how all of them are dancing. You know, it's like it's exactly this kind of joyful expression of yourself that I see here. Let's move these for now off to the side so we have more space. Trust the timing. Trust the wave you came in on. Time is not running out. Before I look at the other card, like I'm drawn to, you see how there are several figures here and all of them are spaced. There's like a lot of space between them. And I'm getting that these are the people from your soul group, the kinds of people that you will draw into your life. And at the moment, you are not physically in each other's lives, but like trust the timing of it, the kind of healing work that you're doing. It will pay off. It will pay off. Oh yeah, okay. It's a bit dirty. Deep cellular healing, Arcturus energy, physical and emotional healing. And do you see the angel wings that are present here? And remember how at the bottom of the other deck we had the angelic frequency. I feel like taking this. And I do want to pull one more card. I want to pull one from here. Please get one more message. For pile number 3s. Please get. Okay. We're already moving into the advice, and we got at the bottom of the deck the card of illumination. Here with the moon, like the subconscious, that which is hidden. And we got clear out the old. I'll read this card from the guidebook for you in a moment, actually. But, I mean, it's very clear. Deep cellular healing. I don't know why I read it like this. Arcturus energy, physical and emotional healing. Clear out the old. You got the support of the Arcturians. You got the support of the angels as well that want to work with you. There are many guided meditations online that you can find also here on YouTube to receive healing from the angels. Actually, I am going to put one in the description box for you as an extra resource that you can listen to if you like, that can already help you, because like, your angels, they are ready to connect with you. They're ready to support you with this physical and emotional healing, but you need to invite them in for them to be able to fully work with you. And same goes for the Arcturians. Also, your spirit team in general is ready to help you fully heal your heart. Yeah, heart healing. That's what it's about. Let me read. Clear out the old. What's this, number 5? Okay, here we go. Clear out the old. Whatever you are experiencing now is a creation that you have brought into existence from past thoughts and feelings. While in this moment it may have you caught up, you can let go and begin to dream of a new reality. Let go of the aspects of this creation that no longer serve you or have a purpose. Release what has gone wrong in the past. Release also any material possessions that do not serve the new dream you now want to create. Know that where you are now, you can create anew and begin again. This is the biggest advice that the snake spirit can give you. Let go of the past pain, heal the past pain, heal your energy, let it go. Release, release, release. And then the question becomes, when all of these or none of these relationships and none of these things are part of your life anymore, or these situations, what could your life look like? And what kind of thoughts, feelings, behaviors, new behaviors as well, can support that new version of you? Because the highest timeline, we touched on that in the highest timeline, all of your relationships are transformed. You are feeling unconditionally loved by yourself and by everyone else surrounding you. Everything is there to support you in your highest timeline. And it's interesting because out of the other, like all 3 piles, your pile is the one where we are, I think, talking the most about where you are at right now, and the most about the healing aspect that will bring you into this changed reality. Let me check in with Snake Spirit for one moment, because I have a bit of a feeling about this. Okay, I just heard the words wide open, because listen, for the other 2 piles, I did get more concrete missions, like life missions that they can create here. And the reason that I wanted to check in with you right now, or with the Snake Spirit right now, is because your highest timeline hasn't been fully written yet. The highest possible timeline of what you can create and what you can achieve. I mean, we touched on an aspect, but it was not that specific, right? And it's unwritten for you in the sense of your highest timeline is going to depend on how you are navigating this healing journey. And that's your main focus for now. And I know I just spoke about what could your future look like, to give you an idea, an overview, an emotional state that you would like to be in every single day, to give you something to hold on to. But our reading today is not about filling in those gaps as to how this looks like in terms of work, in terms of your profession, in terms of like life mission. It's a very, very gentle energy that's coming through from the snake spirit, because, I mean, yes, the snake is a guardian of potential. The snake is also a guardian of transformation, but, you know, she's also a symbol and an absolute patron of healing, and has been for millennia. So for you, she's coming through more as a healer, but, you know, transformation happens through healing. You have no idea about the kinds of relationships and the kind of overflowing love that you will experience in your life when you're through this. You have no idea. It's going to put you in a position where you will feel so free to fully express yourself, so free to go after your deepest desires, to go after creating and attempting to create whatever you feel called to do, whatever you dream up, because of the kinds of support that you have. You have no idea right now. But it's magical. I can tell you that much. It's like having your own team of cheerleaders that are just there for you, that are just there to support you. And of course, you always have them in the spiritual, but you will also have them in the physical, backing you up. And that's why she doesn't want to talk a lot about your mission, because the mission itself is irrelevant almost in the context of this. Whatever mission, whatever idea will come your way, you will be able to create it. And you will be able to create it because you have the support. You have the support of yourself, you have the support of your spirit guides, but you also have the support from the people surrounding you and the environment that you're in. So rest up, take it easy, and focus on healing yourself, nurturing yourself, taking care of your heart, and letting go of what no longer serves you on all the fronts. That is your main objective right now. Is there something else that you would like me to maybe draw from? Okay, I feel like one more card from here. Yeah. Okay. Sub Rosa, hidden in plain sight, mysteries, learning, and teaching. Yeah, we're not supposed to know right now. We're not supposed to know right now. I'm not supposed to touch into your mission. I'm not. Okay, I'll take that message. I know when my time is not there, that's okay. And then we have underneath, Whispers of Mother Earth, creativity, ideas, inspiration, artist, writer, and channel. Maybe one of these terms resonate with you or will resonate with you going forward and in the future, but you will receive your ideas, you will receive your highest timeline and what that looks like, what that entails by yourself. Yep, that's not up for me. Okay, I do want to pull, I think one or two like closing cards. Please get a closing message for pile number 3. Okay, I'll take the 3, and then what do we have underneath? Genuine connection. The person in question is genuine, trustworthy, and caring. Work on building trust with a specific person, situation, or in a relationship. It's safe for you to explore this relationship. Listen. Heal past hurts or heartbreaks that are blocking a special connection with someone. And this is a very special soul connection that deserves a fair chance. I feel like this might be confirmation for some of you. where there are already some new people coming into your life after you've done like a good amount of this kind of healing work, and you're kind of starting to open up again. You're like, can I trust this? First of all, confirmation for you. Second of all, trust your intuition. And third of all, you need to remember that when you do this kind of healing work, your energy, your frequency changes a lot. So you will attract different kinds of people. If you attract someone who, sometimes as a test, the universe will bring us someone who has similar patterns as the people that we've been with before, in whatever way, shape, or form. But the thing is, you will recognize that immediately, and you will say no thank you and move along. So if things feel good to you, if you want to trust yourself, you will know. But even if something else were to happen, you can handle it. You got this. You got this. Absolutely, you do. So we have speak your truth, practice being assertive, have an open and honest discussion with someone today. Speak up. This one is for you. Speak up if someone is not respecting your boundaries. Ask for your needs to be met. Public speaking and leadership are part of your divine mission and life path. Put yourself out there and let yourself shine. I feel like speak up, ask for your needs to be met, and put yourself out there and let yourself shine. I feel like, those very strongly for you. You are not alone. Have the courage to reach out for support today. Of course, by the way, I didn't say that yet, but when it comes to the emotional healing or the cellular healing, if you feel called to go to any kind of healer of whatever kind, could be a therapist, could be a life coach, a mindset coach, could be some kind of energy healer, whatever floats your boat, whatever you feel called to do, and you would like to reach out for support, you would like to get some support in doing this kind of work, reach out to those people. And if financially speaking you don't have the means to do that, you can look up the modalities online, and you can start to see if maybe you find some free resources that are connected to that. Because there are so many free resources surrounding, let's say, creating a new mindset surrounding love and relationships, so just putting that out there. We got manage your expectations of yourself and of others. Practice loving acceptance towards yourself today. Make time to connect with others. You're needed and you matter. A lonely season of your life will soon pass. The last one. A lonely season of your life will soon pass. This is temporary. Remember, and I touched on that with trust the timing card. Trust the timing. There are new people already sent to you. They're already on their way to you. It's not quite the right time yet for them to enter, but they are on their way. Wow, okay. Emotional release. Release stored emotions now in order to improve your health. Can highly recommend EFT tapping for that as well. You find so many free resources online. If you look for a heartbreak or something like this, and heartbreak, EFT tapping, or feeling lonely, EFT tapping, whatever comes up for you, you will find the videos of someone else guiding you through that. I'm also going to leave actually down in the description box for you. So I'm going to leave the meditation with the angels, and I'm going to leave an EFT tapping video that I recorded to help you with processing your feelings. These are the two resources I'm going to leave for you. Then we have reduce excessive long-term stress immediately, identify unhealed trauma that may be causing physical harm to your body, channel your emotions into a creative project or physical activity, and face issues as they arise rather than avoiding them. The emotional release speaks for itself, I feel like. Yeah. Okay. I feel like that's the main message that the snake has for you today. There will be 3 additional resources for you connected to this topic of unlocking your potential. The first one is going to be a short EFT tapping video to help you and support you in releasing the emotions, thoughts, and physical sensations that are no longer serving you. The second one is a short Reiki-infused affirmation track to build the new mindset of unlocking your full potential. And the third one is going to be a 30-minute Usui Reiki treatment, also geared towards helping you unlocking your potential from an energetic standpoint. If any of those are out already, you can find them in the pinned comment down below. And with that said, I've spoken long enough. Have a beautiful rest of your day and take care of yourself. Bye.